Basta all hits, all Pinoy. Kahit nasaan ka man, ito'y mapapakinggan. V81 Radio, V81 Radio. 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 V81 Radio, V81 Radio.
This is V81 Radio Worldwide. Almighty God, grant us the courage of Jesus Christ, your Son, to face the coronavirus pandemic with trust, strength, compassion, and resiliency. Give us the grace of the Holy Spirit to free us from fear and anxiety, so we may do actions of help and support and look forward to our healing with hope. We pray for the health workers, food liners, maintenance cleaners, logistics abler, government leaders, and volunteers who continuously come together to deliver our daily needs to survive. Guide us from this time of crisis. Preserve us in peace. Protect the weak and vulnerable and those who serve the society during this pandemic. This we ask and pray in Jesus' name, our Savior. Amen. Naghahatid saya sa mga Pinoy, mga kantang tatak Pinoy. Kahit nasan ka man, kami ay mapapakinggan. Streaming worldwide, the future of radio in Manila, California, and Hong Kong. This is V81 Radio.
Malayo ka man sa iyong pamilya, dito ay hindi ka nag-iisa. Tiyak ito'y iyong hahanap-hanapin, dahil ito ang nagpapasaya sa atin.
V81 Radio,
paborito ng bawat Pilipino. Basta all hits, all Pinoy panalo. Merong kwentong iyakan at tawanan. Kahit nasaan ka man ito'y mapapakinggan. Oh,
VA1 Radio, VA1 Radio.
ito ang radio mo, ito ang radio ko.
VA1 Radio, VA1 Radio.
Dahil mahal namin kayo.
VA1 Radio, VA1 Radio.
Para sa inyo ito, V81 Radio.
VA1 Radio.
Ito ang radio mo, ito ang radio ko.
VA1 Radio.
Dahil mahal namin kayo.
VA1 Radio, VA1 Radio.
Para sa inyo ito, V81 Radio.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the program anchors and producers and do not necessarily reflect the policies and position of this station. In doing what they believe is right, progressive, and inclusive. Join them as they discover the path to self and societal fulfillment while making a difference. Hosted by empowered and cool millennial Erika Mison, together with her fellow millennials, they will be making a difference.
Good afternoon, everyone. You are now tuned in to Making a Difference. So, this is a show created to inspire and motivate you for today. Again, I am your host, Erika Mison, and I'm also your online friend for today. All right. So, last week, I invited three millennials just to basically check up on them, see what they're up to, and how what their careers are, and how being under GCQ, how it's basically how they're doing under GCQ. So if you missed out on that episode, don't worry. We have it on our Facebook page. We have it here on Making a Difference. We also have it on V81 Radio, and we also have it on our YouTube channel, V81 Radio's YouTube channel and website. Okay, so you can check that out after this episode. So for this week's episode, if you're friends with me on Facebook, I actually shared the poster for today. And my caption was, okay, I'm going to be 5 years younger tomorrow, which is today. And that is because our guests for today, they're part of an organization called Kids for Kids. And they're part of the younger generation of the youth. So I'm really excited to get to talk to them, and I'm also excited for them to share their projects. You know, at such a young age, it's really inspiring. I got to talk to them, of course, before the show, and they've done great projects, and they're currently still doing it. So let's not prolong this anymore. I want to introduce to you the officers of Kids for Kids. So first we have the co-founders, sorry. They're actually sisters. Their names are Bella and Tasha Tanhutko. So again, they're the co-founders of Kids for Kids. Are they here? Bella and Tasha. There we go.
Hi.
Hi, girls. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Okay. Of course, thank you also for accepting my invitation. Okay, let me introduce your other officers as well. Next, we have Daniela Pedrosa. She is an internal strategies head. Hi, Daniela.
Hello.
Hi, Daniela. Okay, then we also have Annika Raffer. She's also an internal strategies head. Annika here. There we go. Hi, Annika. And okay, then we have Gino Yang. I think he's the only boy for today. He is the sustainable strategies head. Where's Gino? There's
Hey
Gino.
guys, what's up?
Hi, Gino. And of
Erika.
course, we have Regina Bonoan. She's also an internal strategies head.
Hi.
Hi, Regina. Okay, so there you go. These are the core team members of Kids for Kids. So today we're actually full house. So I'm excited to get to talk to each one of you. So okay, let's start. So for our first segment, I wanna talk about basically the organization and the background. So maybe we could talk to Tasha, Bella, and Regina
Mhm.
about the organization. So maybe you could give us like the story, basically. How did you come up with Kids for Kids?
Okay, so Kids for Kids began when I was 13, my sister was 15. Basically, throughout their childhood, we'd always be going to different outreaches to help out different communities when we were younger with our Lola and our mom. And then when we went to school, we wanted to, of course, like engage in more outreach work. But then, however, the ones in school were very limited, and we thought that we could kind of like help more. Like our capacity to help was like bigger. So that's when me and my sister decided to start just like a mini after school extracurricular thing where we would like go out with our friends and just help out different communities. And then from there it kind of grew. So basically, when we first started Kids for Kids, we were like a group of five, and it was a completely set of like different people. And then from there, we kind of just invited our friends, and then it kind of grew as what Bella was saying. So we launched it basically in 2013 with our first event called Takbo. So Takbo was a race to raise funds for UNICEF's 1,000 Days of a Child campaign. And from there, we realized that the impact of the youth was super great in terms of how they could call their friends and have fun, but at the same time give back. Because like from the planning to like the writing the sponsorship letters to like meeting with the sponsors, it was all us doing it, like all us teenagers. We're also in high school. So it's really like a big experience from us and obviously a big like learning process thing. So with that, we were able to get around 300 youth volunteers to help out with the event, as well as we were able to raise over 300,000 for UNICEF's 1,000 Days of the Child program. So that was like our first big event, and that was the launch of our organization because we were like, wow, there's so many kids who out here willing to help. If giving is something that is fun and exciting for people to do. So from there, that's when we released. Okay, how about we like pull in more people in our kind of like our little team to help out more communities if this really works. So that's when we really sign up, and the amount of responses was just really like overwhelming and unexpected. Like we did not really like expect like that much people who like wanted to sign up. And then at that time, so when we realized we wanted to promise kids a better future, because all we were doing was different outreaches, we even went to Giwan. We painted an evacuation center. So this was the province that was first hit for Typhoon Yolanda at that time. And when we went there, we realized that we wanted to promise kids a better future. We also needed to promise them a better environment to live in. And that's when we became also country representatives of this other organization called Bye Bye Plastic Bags. So Bye Bye Plastic Bags is an organization that was founded in Bali, Indonesia. And it was also founded by two sisters who were the same age as me and Bella. And then when we got in touch with them, they were super happy to have us become their Philippine chapter. So when that happened, we basically started kind of moving towards as well integrating environmental awareness in our programs. And so we decided to launch this first event called Kamalayan, which means awareness. And what we basically did was we put together a 2-week art festival that basically showed people youth advocacies towards climate action. And at the time in 2016, not much people understood sustainability. There wasn't really a movement for environmentalism. And it was something that should have been talked about already at that time since climate change is such a pressing problem. And so that kind of transitioned into many other things that we got into. It wasn't just anymore about helping kids in small outreaches. It became big fundraisers. It became involving a whole community as well as partnering up with so many different people. Because we wanted to make the youth realize, wanted to kind of engage them in the conversation of conservation, whether it be environmental or marine conservation. And that's when we were like, okay, we have to educate them. And so we thought art was the best kind of language as well to educate the youth on like the realities of what's going on. And then from there, we kind of saw like one year, I think this 2018, Siargao became like the hot spot for all the tourists. So you're like, okay, if there's an influx of tourists, there's obviously an influx of waste. And so we actually partnered up with organizations in Siargao because we wanted to learn how they were kind of managing all the abrupt overflow of waste in the tiny island. So we went there and we partnered up with these organizations and we saw other grassroots initiatives, whether it was like upcycling the waste, using the waste as a resource. So you're like, okay, how come the people in Manila, they don't really know about like these kind of everyday solutions that we could do with the waste. So you wanted to kind of bridge the gap between what professionals or experts or other organizations were doing and what the youth know and what the youth should learn. So that's when we, after Siargao, we decided to come up with this entire event called Habilin, which means to give someone something for safekeeping. So it's an entire convention where we invited different speakers from different marine conservation organizations and all these kind of environmental activists to talk about the realities of course, the plastic pollution here in the Philippines to the youth. So we had over 200 youth members, and that's how we kind of started this entire Habilin movement, where it was kind of education to bridge the gap between the adults and us youth. And so from there, I guess, when we launched Habilin back in 2018, we still kind of did a lot of different things. And when we realized we were doing so many different things, we needed to figure out a way to bridge all of this together. We even ended up launching like last year this brand called Retaso, which is basically upcycling. It was an initiative to upcycle textile waste that was donated to us by different local brands. And then from all of that, basically, we were saying we were doing so many different things, but there wasn't one culminating factor. And that's when we came up with Tayo. So Tayo is basically an umbrella company that talks about sustainability, and we basically have this tagline where we want creativity and sustainability to meet so that people understand their need for positive change. So Reg can take over here and explain Tayo and like what it has been doing also.
Okay, so just to connect Tayo with everything that we've done in the past, connected to past projects. So Bella and Tasha have already mentioned and put a lot of premium on how we started with our focus really using creativity as a foundation, because we also wanted this to be a platform to help express the youth. So what we decided to do was, by getting just a bunch of our friends to do like a couple murals, and then from then on we decided like, okay, why not also get graphic artists and different kinds of artists in all kinds of fields. So we decided to branch it out and have Tayo as our mother company for all our organizations and all our initiatives. So Tayo is the one that basically upholds all of the foundations. So we have, under Tayo, we have Kid for Kids, Bye Bye Plastic Bags, Kamalayan, Habilin, and Retaso. So what Tayo does right now is not only to overlook all of that, but then Tayo, what we do is, our main platform is Instagram. So we have different guests taking over right now, with sharing like their different passions, from like food to wellness, and what they're doing right now during quarantine and everything that they're doing to get creative. So we also use this as a platform to kind of connect everything from creativity to sustainability.
Okay, wow. I mean, I was really listening to you girls. Like, that's actually a lot already, and I'm
Kinda just
you said you started this organization when you were 13 and 15 years old. And I'm so happy to hear that, it's still ongoing. So I'm actually really curious. You started at 13 and 15. I mean, I remember when I was 13 or 15, I mean, I didn't even think about all of this, So how was it like I'm super curious, like, were you, because knowing kids, I mean, the kids, they're still like shy at that age. You're still kind of shy, and you're just starting to go out there, and you already done so much, meaning you've spoken to a lot of people as well. So how did that work for you girls?
okay, actually, like me and my sister, we're actually very shy people. Like contrary to popular belief, we're not really fans of like public speaking, but because we are really passionate about our advocacy, it just kind of makes us do it in a way. And also, what really helps is that gathering a team of friends who are all have like the same mindset and passion as you, so it really helps empower you to do what you continue to do. So with the team, that's what we really like. Like we're all friends, even though we weren't really close at the start. It was really the advocacy that brought us together, and so we just decided to come together to create change, and that's what kind of continues to uplift um,
Yeah,
us to
like
continue the work.
on our team right now, we're six, like everyone here on call, and like only two of them are extroverted. So at the like, so when it comes to like talking to people and everything, like we realized there was this one meeting we actually talked about like what's the difference between a hobby and a passion, and then we searched it up, and it was basically a passion is something that you're willing to share with others. So I guess that's why we are able to kind of quote unquote share this
Yeah.
and share all of this in that sort of way and not be so shy about it and basically have other people as well do the same thing because we realize that it's something that's doing good as well to other people because a lot of the people that ask us like questions about how we started and all these things usually it's like how do they begin, like how do they start their own, because like what can they really do at their age. But for us, it was more of like if you really have the passion for it, that's what's going to take you somewhere. And what's nice is that even Reg actually, she's been like in Kids for Kids since like day one also. Like we're actually kabarkada. So when like the concept first happened, she was like one of the first people like I pulled in and was like, okay, there's this thing called Kids for Kids that we want to kind of help me out. And then we had to make content about also.
So it was basically just really like gathering everybody we knew, and this was honestly what taught us networking because it was really just friends of friends of friends, and that's how we gathered everybody to be a part of our organization and educate them about different advocacy. So it was nice to get everybody's different passions and everybody interested in the same advocacy to help conquer like and help change something that we're all interested in. And what we decided to do was, because of all our networking and despite us being like shy and having only two extroverted people in our group, we were able to like everybody was able to join, and now we have over 800 members in our organization just
Wow,
because of people
800.
grabbing their own friends. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really true. Like, in life, I firmly believe that connections are really important. They're really gonna get you somewhere. So at least at an early age, you were able to um already connect and talk to others as well. Even with the one you mentioned a while ago, bye plastic bags. So how did you get to contact the two sisters for bye?
Basically we were having a Kids for Kids meeting this one time, and then we we were on like YouTube, and then there was a TED talk that came out, and they basically shared their own advocacy on like TEDx, and we were like, hey, this sounds so interesting. Like, how can we bring that here? So we literally just took a chance. We emailed them, like we
Like,
found,
because we found their Instagram by plastic
Yeah.
bags, and then they had like the email posted. So you're like, okay, let's just take a chance. And apparently, that same year, it was very timely because they just opened kind of like this
Sign-ups
idea
for
of signups for
global
global teams. So the Philippines is one of the first global teams of pyroblastic
And
bags.
now there are over 80 countries, I think, that are involved in the movement. And it's actually it's quite an amazing story also by plastic bags, because they started when they were, I think,
10 and 12.
10 and 12, and successfully in the after 5 or 6 years they banned plastic bags in Bali, and completely like shifted the entire government and island's perspective towards plastic. And that's what we hope to do here in the Philippines.
It's
Except
just it's harder.
it's harder because there's so many different islands, and um
And
we're
so many
very-
governments we have to deal with also.
yeah, exactly.
So we just help in our own way in terms of spreading awareness and education, as well as our project Retaso, which upcycles textile waste.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's about like showing the others na by doing, but just by doing all of this, you're already helping out na rin, you're already helping out all of us. So good job, ladies. I wanna ask Regina. So the sisters mentioned that you were with Kids for Kids since day one, and now you are one of the heads for internal strategy. So, what do you do as an internal strategies head?
So, as an internal strategies head, what we do is we basically overlook all of the organizations and help with the coordination, just so that we could also help plan. Because since we mentioned earlier how we have so much going on, like we have Kids for Kids, Kamalayan, Habilin, Retaso, we have Tayo Tayo. So it's a lot. So basically what I do as an internal strategies head for Kids is we overlook all the projects and across all the initiatives and organizations, make sure that they're all aligned and that they all serve that the purpose of like making change and everything like that, just so that more people could be part of the initiative and so that we're all aligned. But basically what we also do is just for us to stay on brand and keep true to our values of being sustainable by also incorporating creativity in what we do.
Okay, I got it. Now I see. So obviously, because you're three internal strategies head, so yeah, you're gonna need a lot of of that.
Yeah, a lot of coordination.
Yes, exactly. All right, so thank you, girls. We're gonna go on break first. But after the break, we'll get to talk to the other half, and we'll find out more on their current projects. So we'll be right back after these few announcements.
Thank you.
See you. See you.
Okay, so we are now back. For those who are just tuning in, welcome to Making a Difference. So, again, this is a show to inspire and really just to motivate the youth to do what they're doing and to continue what they're doing. So, my name again is Erika Mison. I am Making a Difference host, and I'm also your online friend. So before the break, I introduced an organization called Kids for Kids. So they focus on both creativity and sustainability. So we got to talk to the co-founders and an officer, and they told us basically the background story on Kids for Kids, how they set it up, and what their advocacies are. So for this next segment, we're gonna get to know their current projects. So I'd like to call back Anika Raffer, Gino Yang, and Daniela Pedrosa.
Hi.
Hello, Annika. Hello, Gino.
Hello.
And Daniela. Okay, hi. How are you guys? Are you guys okay?
Yeah, we're
Thanks.
good.
Hope you're doing.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, a while ago, we already got a glimpse of Kids for Kids, what you guys basically do. So now maybe you guys could talk about your current projects, or maybe expound more on what you're doing for Kids for Kids.
Sure.
Okay, so I'll start first. We'll talk about first Bye Bye Plastic Bags, and then Annika will talk about Kids for Kids because Bye Bye Plastic Bags is our sister organization, as mentioned earlier. So what just happened actually in Bye Bye Plastic Bags was we celebrated the month of the oceans, with an event called Lingkon ng Kalikasan. So sorry, not Lingkon ng Kalikasan. We renamed it to Vitera. So what happened was we had a bunch of online Zoom classes, we had testimonies, we had Instagram takeovers, and we had a bunch of other forums. So just to quickly get into all of those, we had online Zoom classes for 3 days. So it was World Environment Day, Oceans Triangle Day, and World Oceans Day. So for each of these, we got a bunch of representatives from a lot of organizations like Save Philippine Seas, Lamav, Fund the Forest, Reef Check, and other organizations. And then for the testimonies, we also got a bunch of representatives from Thai Pinas, Sea Movement, WWF Philippines, and Lamab again. And then for the Instagram takeovers, we got people like Gab Paloma from Sustainable Co. And then Melati, who's also the Bye Bye Plastic Bags founder from Bali. And then also Jen Horn from Mooney Philippines. And then for the forums, we had like a Love for Corals Zoom forum with WWF again and Kids for Kids, and then Bye Bye Plastic Bags Us, and CTI CFF, and Sea Soldier North Sulawesi. And then we also had a Bye Bye Plastic Bags Global Forum. So as Tasha mentioned, we have a bunch of teams from all over the world. So we were able to get a few of those teams actually to join in a forum with us. So that was really cool. We got to hear about their initiatives, and we also got to hear their perspectives on a lot of different issues worldwide. So that was really interesting. And then we also had a Kids for Kids and Bye Bye Plastic Bags forum where a lot of people were able to ask us questions about our organizations and what we do and stuff. And then we also produced a 79-page information book, which was made by our research team. So it's really cool. It's all about the ocean. And if you guys want to check it out, it's actually for sale. You can find the details on our Instagram. It's 350 pesos. It's really informative, and it was fact checked and stuff. It's really cool. You should check it out. And then um, aside from Vitera, another one of our committees, the social media crew, is planning our publication. So we have a publication called Alon, which can be found on medium.com. And recently, I think just last week, we were able to deliberate and get our new roster of researchers, writers, and artists to make our publication. So that's all in the works right now, and they're planning that. So it's really cool. And then lastly, our other project team, Coastal Crew, is planning a month-long sustainable cooking project where they'll get chefs and others who are helping farmers or those in the agricultural sector to discuss and show how to be sustainable when it comes to cooking and how to help those in agriculture in a sustainable way. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Bye Bye Plastic Bags right now. I'll give it to Nini now to talk.
Okay. Okay, sorry. I just want to ask Daniela. So when were the forums? Was it this last year, or how long ago?
The forums, all of these happened from June 5 to June 11. Yeah.
Wait, this month, this year?
This
Yeah.
past
Okay. Okay, got that. Okay, sige. So let's hear naman from Annika.
Okay. So in Kids for Kids, we have different project teams, and right now we're all working towards OSEC. So it's a campaign for OSEC, which is the online sexual exploitation of children. Because especially since we're all in quarantine, this is something that like families like who have lost their jobs, or like some families aren't super aware of the children's rights and human rights, so they end up using online sexual exploitation for their children to earn money.
And so we partnered up with these two beneficiaries. So that's Lingap Bata and UNICEF. Um, and how it kind of works is that Lingap Bata, they offer like different goods. So it includes like food, sanitation, homeschool for kids, and even like urban gardening lessons. So we wanted to partner up with them so that we can raise funds so that because for one family you can provide for 4 to 5 people with 750 pesos. So we try to earn as much money as we can from like our volunteers or from the public event, so that we can help as much families as possible. And apart from that, we partnered also with UNICEF, so they go for the nationwide effort. So that mostly goes to like Ilagan and like Cagayan de Oro, because we want to be able to help like the grassroots as well as the nationwide solutions. And it's such a good opportunity because we have like different live sessions so that we could get the information out there. So we have had like sessions like on Zoom calls. So it's like we had Anthony and Ella Panginingan from Call to Rescue. And then we had Nino Lasin from UNICEF, Yodi and Chavez from Lingap Bata themselves, even Senator Risa Hontiveros, and Macy Lee from like Talang Dalisay. So it goes about talking about the realities of OSEC in the Philippines, as well as like how to manage that or how to like help take care of ourselves as well as people who have been affected. And so we actually have this thing where if you donate as much as possible, any donation is like super, we're so happy to have it. But if you get to donate at least 1,000 pesos, you get a booklet. So it's super cute actually. I feel like it's like we love making booklets by Plastic Bag or something.
Yeah.
But it's the booklet is like it's like specific for like children's rights and human rights. So like we talk about like different stories and different like games and like books. I like it's just a bunch of like compilation of different things um that would bring you back to when you were a child, so you could show the importance of how important it is to take care of each and every child around us, especially during these times. So yeah, that's what. And we even had like bake sales, and like we tried as much as possible to have as much fundraisers as we can. So yeah.
Okay. So the forum that you mentioned, when was this?
It was every weekend actually. We had like every weekend from June, I think, May to June around that. But we're collecting donations, I think, by the end of July, so that we can donate as much as we can.
Okay, so is it still ongoing?
Yes, it's still ongoing. You can check all our links in our social media accounts. Just a little plug.
Shameless
Yeah, go
plug.
ahead. You can plug it. You can. I will also help plug for you guys. Yeah, those are really great initiatives. I mean, ever since the start of the episode, I've been hearing like so much great ideas from you guys. So it's really great not to hear what you're doing and what you're currently doing. So okay, so Annika and Daniela, you're both internals strategies head. Same with Regina. But Gino here, he is the sustainable strategies head.
Yeah. That's right. Okay, so
What do you do as the sustainable strategies head?
okay, so like I'm actually still included within the internal strategies group, but like you might say like my position's kind of unique because like what I'm in charge of mostly is overseeing and making sure that everything is like on brand and sustainable. Because at the end of the day, we have to enforce everything that we believe. We have to be what we believe, right? So I'm kind of in charge of making sure that everything is by our standards, everything is sustainable, and we reduce our carbon footprint as much as possible.
Okay. So
Yeah.
the six of you, you're the core members. Are there more core members or this is it na talaga?
Like we kind of make up like the main internals, and like we compose a lot of like the ideas for the org, but then we do have subheads depending on the, for example, Annika's different kids for kids groups, and then Daniela also has her respective heads for bye bye plastic bags.
Okay, okay. Now I get it. Yeah, but, I heard you mention on brand. I did not know that term up until I started working. So,
Oh,
it's really Gabi, galing. I mean, no words. I have no words, really, honestly. You, I've, I mean, I've seen a lot of organizations. I personally have
Mhm.
my own organization, and I know, it's still we have our own struggles. But
Yeah.
Kids for Kids has been here, like since 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and it's really great that you're growing. I mean, 800 members, diba? I only have like what, 15 members.
Yeah.
They're all my friends.
Okay.
Plus my sister.
Erica, can I introduce like actually one of like our other projects, like since we're
Yeah,
in the
sure.
topic of like other small arts. Okay,
Mhm.
so actually Tasha was talking about this small movement we started back in 2018. It's called Habilin. I
Mm,
think I'm not sure if you remember, but yeah, she mentioned it.
yes.
So like what it started as was like an awareness movement actually, and like back then we started it as a ocean awareness movement. But then like now, especially during quarantine, we noticed that there's so much like people who have like gone through like self-realization, I guess, and like so many people are so into like starting new orgs or getting into sustainable culture. And Habilin is like we found that there's a way to move everything forward, like as a collective, not just individually. So what we have now is Habilin that has evolved into like three different like subparts. Okay, so
Okay.
like I'm sorry, I'm gonna throw a lot of information
No,
at
go
you. Like
ahead.
tell me if like you have any questions, all right? Okay, so like first off, I already mentioned we're gonna we just ran a pilot of our workshop for being change makers, and what this is really is for new and up and coming orgs who don't really know how to get up and about spreading their advocacy and making a change in and impacting the world. So that is one of our first and I'd say one of our biggest projects right now, actually. But then on the second point, um, in relation to the first point, also, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but actually, there's a law that's
Mm,
uh, supposed to be that in schools, environmental sustainability is supposed to be taught. And
yes.
I'm pretty sure like a lot of us, like maybe some of the viewers know about it, but for the general public, like it's not that known, and I feel like it's such an undermined situation, especially now that the environment is going through such a hard and harsh state. And that moves on to like the second point, which is the preferendum, what we like to call a preferendum. It's a mixture of the preference and referendum, like so preferendum. So that's the word.
Okay, go ahead.
So like what it really is about is like what we hope to do is we're formulating right now a survey which will hopefully be sent to different schools based on this environmental education. So hopefully if we compile data and it becomes relevant, like we could send it to the maybe even UN or the local representatives of the country to better our country, because data is so important these days, like everyone knows that, right? Okay, and then like lastly is our what we call our unconventional convention. And we stressed so many times already how important collaboration is in making a change, and we really believe that like this isn't an individual movement. Like we all have to work together as a country and as a world to make the world a better place and make necessary changes. So what we're coming up with is we haven't launched it yet, but then what we will do is
Okay.
we're gonna start up a Facebook group and a networking platform for the youth, because at this point, like the youth are so involved in so many things already, and they're bound to be the future leaders, of course. So what we want to do is like get everyone connected before that point. So when we do reach that point, it's way easier to like make changes. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really,
So that's basically
it
just
warms
imagine.
my heart to see the youth, especially you guys, really um making change, basically.
I
It's
love it.
it's super nice to hear all of this, and I really wish you guys well. I can see Kids for Kids has like a very bright future with all the connections, with all the projects that you've been doing. I'm very sure if you wanna send the data out, um I'm sure people will actually be interested and will look into that
Yeah,
as well.
hopefully.
So
So
keep
much.
it up. Keep it
Thank
up,
you
guys.
so much.
You're so proud. Like I'm like
Thank you so much.
hearing all of this, I'm just so happy. Thank you
Yeah.
making this day. I mean, of course, yes, the environment is very, very important. But the fact kasi na you're aware of it at such a young age. And that's really great, And tama si
Yeah.
Gino. Like I'm also included. Sure. So that I hope the viewers that are watching, especially those of the younger generation, I hope you look up to these guys because they're really, really making a change right
Yeah.
now, and it's great. Galing.
And if any of the viewers want to get involved in our projects, like just follow our social media accounts. Like it's so easy to get involved with us. Like maybe join the movement, I guess, right?
Actually, I was gonna ask you,
Yeah.
how do you become a member for Kids for Kids?
Okay, so Annika, do you wanna go through that?
Okay. So we actually have sign-ups yearly. So it's always in the beginning of the year. So it's so sad nga that like especially now I have so many people like want to help as much as they can, but we can't accept as many because it's a very tedious process. But you can still reach out to us. You can join the different workshops that we have. You can, honestly, if you have an idea and you can like message us or email us about it, we could probably work with you as well. Like it's really, really, I feel like one of the things that we value most is collaboration above all. And like at the end of the day, you don't have to be part of our volunteers.
Right.
But of course, if you want to join, of course.
Of course. Can I join? Can I be a member? Or am I like too old? Really? I can? Okay, great. That's okay. I'm excited. I have so many organizations to join because of this show. I promise so much. Okay, but anyways, thank you, Annika, Daniela, and Gino, for sharing the projects and all your ideas. So I'm really excited for Kids for Kids. I'm excited for the organization. So yeah, keep it up. Okay. So again, we're gonna go on a short break. But after the break, I'll have everybody on screen, and we're gonna talk about more personal things. Okay. So we'll be right back after these few announcements.
Back shortly, making a difference. Only here on V81 Radio, South Manila. Big Benta, a Pinoy e-commerce site made for you. Enjoy hassle-free shopping with multiple payment options available. May local support din ready to assist, so you can enjoy peace of mind when you shop. Visit our website to check different product offerings. Get anything you want and avail everything you need in just one click. Big Benta, Pinoy e-commerce, made for you. After this pandemic, let's support the Filipino community. Buy local, visit local, go local. May items ka na gustong ibenta? Or planning to buy something specific? Visit PinoyAds.ph, a free online classified ads na available to all. Post an ad para sa item na you want to sell. Or browse through the listing to find out what you're looking for. Connect with the community to explore, discover, buy and sell. Be the boss of every transaction sa PinoyAds.ph. After this pandemic, let's support the Filipino community. Buy local. Visit local. Go local. Kabayan, nahuhomesick ka ba? I-download na ang aming mobile app at mag-enjoy sa mga kantang tatak Pinoy and feel like you're home. The V81 Radio mobile app, available in the App Store and Google Play Store. V81 Radio mobile app, free now, free forever. Now back to Making a Difference, only here on V81 Radio, South Manila.
Okay, now we're back. Before the break, I got to talk to the other officers of Kids for Kids, and they talked about their current projects and their future plans for Kids for Kids. This is really, honestly, like I have no words. I personally am super inspired and super nakakatuwa in Tagalog. Super nakakatuwa to see these young youth really working super hard to really make a difference because they really believe in the advocacy. So you could see it. Their faces just light up every time they talk about it. So it's really nice to hear. So I wanna call all of them back. So we have Bella and Tasha. They're the co-founders. We also have Annika, Gino, Daniela, and Regina. Okay, there's everyone. We are a full house today. Actually, this is the first time that I have 6 guests, and this is the first time na full yung screen ko. But anyways, first of all, I just wanna thank each one of you for coming to the show and talking about Kids for Kids. And I just want to say, you so far you guys are doing really really well. So I hope you keep up the good work. Which again, as I mentioned a while ago, I see that Kids for Kids will go very far. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
See, I'm like 5 years younger. I'm not joking. Okay, so now let's get to know the people, the officers behind Kids for Kids. So I want to ask each one of you. Actually, okay, before the major question, how old are you guys? Maybe we can start with Annika.
Okay, I'm 19.
19. Okay, Daniela.
I'm 17.
She's the youngest. Okay, she's the youngest at the interview. You're like younger than my younger sister. Because my younger sister. Okay, how about you, Gino? How old are you?
I'm 20, turning 21.
Okay, turning 21. Tap and back.
I don't know. If I said
I
that.
just turned 19.
I'm
Okay.
20.
20. And Regina?
I'm 20 also.
Okay, so there, see, they're the younger generation of the youth. Actually, you're the first organization or the first group of guests that I interviewed who are younger than me. Because usually, so far, so far, and you're my episode 10, so which is great. So yun, because I've been interviewing people who are my age or a bit older, so I wanted to really also target the younger generation because in the law, actually, when you say youth or the kabataan, it ranges from ages 15 up to 30. So it's a
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
I
So
didn't know that.
yeah, there you go. So now you know.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to also interview Sana, a younger generation, and I'm so happy I found Kids for Kids. Okay, so my question is, now we know their ages, so it ranges from 17 up to 20. Um, starting, probably like starting your own organization or being an officer of this organization at such a young age. Maybe you could give like your experiences and maybe advice also to those who wanna also maybe start their own organization or be an officer for organization, what can you say? So again, let's start. Okay, no, let's start with Tasha and Bella since they're the co-founders of Kids for Kids.
Okay, so I guess, well, me and Tosh always say that this entire organization thing is really a learning process because up till now we're still learning how to kind of go about kind of working together in terms of like kind of keeping 800 of our volunteers active and like thinking of all like these different initiatives in order to keep the ball rolling with everything. So I guess as leaders or as officers of an organization, um it really, I guess it really depends on who you work with because for me, like I get empowered by my team, like the people I work with, like their work ethic and how like they're very efficient. So we're really a work in progress, but then we are able to fix ourselves and get organized based on each other's um energy in a way.
Um, for me naman, I think it's actually really easy to start an organization. I mean, like everyone, like what we noticed over the break is that there's so many different organizations that ended up like popping out of nowhere. And because it is like nowadays you have social media, you can just make an Instagram account, get a bunch of friends, and then post on it. But I feel like there's a different take when you talk about sustainability, and that's what Kids for Kids and Tayo and everything we do is all for that. And I think that's why we kind of make sure that everything that we do is also sustainable in its own way. So even as a team, like we're such a diverse group, and that's what kind of makes it work because not all of us are like being different ages also allows so many different perspectives.
It really balances everything
Yeah,
out in a way.
and then like all kinds of interests also works because if pretend if all of us were we all just suck at math, then that like there's a missing link there. So what we like about like having a youth organization is everyone's still in the midst of discovering what they like and their different passions and being with a diverse group of people really helps in motivating also other people to kind of get involved no matter how young you are, how old you are. But it's everyone just doing the same thing even if you all have different passions.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing, Tasha and Bella. So, I'm sorry. So I really don't know what to say. 'Cause I'm just really so happy right now. Hearing these words coming from you guys. So thank you for sharing. Maybe we can have Daniela next.
Okay, so I feel like my advice would be to start small, but before starting, understand yourself first. I feel like it's really important that you, when making a change, you have to understand how you can make that change in the first place. So that's knowing your strengths, knowing what you're passionate about, knowing what you aren't passionate about, and like knowing what you aren't good at, so that you know already how you can come into the game, how you can be different and how you can make a change that's specific to yourself and that works to your advantage. And start small because you can't come into something new starting with something so big. As Bella said, it's a learning process. So by starting small, you're gonna get to know the basics first, and then you can work your way up into creating something bigger. Like our organization has been running for 5 years, I think. And in the 5 years, we gained like 800 volunteers, right? But that took a while, and it took a lot of effort, and we started small. So
And that came from the youngest. Yeah. Thank you so much. But I really agree naman din with Daniela. We all have to really start somewhere. And Kids for Kids, you guys started from somewhere. That's why, you are here today. Thank you so much, Daniela, for sharing.
Sure.
Okay. Anika, any words of advice?
So, short story lang kasi, I was one of the last ones to be part of the internals team. Like, I started off as a volunteer, just a volunteer. So, my advice would really just to believe in yourself and to really just empower yourself as well and surround yourself with people who believe in you too. Because I feel like that's the most important thing. Apart from knowing yourself, I mean, including knowing yourself and knowing how to make a change. You also need to have that sense of passion within you and want to do it. Like the drive needs to be there, and it's not something that people are just born with. I feel like you people grow into that as well, and um, you can't do anything, you can't start anything if you don't believe in yourself first. So I feel like that's the best thing, as well as having people around you to support you with whatever you're doing. And even if you feel like you've been going so much, like it's important as well to like take breaks once in a while and really like being there for the team and for other people, so that you can work like in the most efficient way and follow whatever it is you want to create, change for.
Thank you so much, Annika, for sharing. Okay. Next we have Gino, the only boy here today.
Hello. Okay,
So,
so
any-
while they were talking, I was thinking like I have like kind of 2 points like to share.
okay.
My first point of advice is like don't be afraid to fail. Like don't be afraid to do something just because you think you'll fail. Like honestly, like we've been doing this for 5 years, and there's no way that we could have like done everything perfectly. We've I'd say maybe a solid half of our projects didn't go as planned. So, but this all really helped us like to get to the point we are now. Like such a big organization trying out like I'd say bigger things, right? And then my second piece of advice is always like stand up for yourself when you're spreading your advocacy. Because like oh my god, because like sometimes talking to like adults is like the hardest thing in the whole world. Like it's, now it's not as hard because like we're in our 20s now. But back when you were 18, oh my goodness, like sometimes they thought like the only thing we knew was like the answer to 1 plus 1, dude. Like, and like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Okay.
but then like it's not like talking to you who's a news anchor that like could hold a solid conversation, you know. Like sometimes like talking to like older like generations, like they really undermine your value. And I think like being a change maker and passionate about your advocacy, like you really have to be able to like show other people that you're worth something, and like it's very important to know like your self-worth and the change you're making. So yan lang.
Thank you for sharing. You know what? Exactly my point. I was what's this? When I was researching about you guys before we got to do the test broadcast, I was wondering, okay, if my because okay, short story. How I found out about Kids for Kids, it's because of my sister. My sister is friends with the cousin of Tasha and Bella. So
Mhm.
I was like, okay, so if my sister knows the cousin, then they're probably in the same age group, right? And I was
Yep.
looking, I was looking at your social media and all that, and I was like, okay, they're really pretty, they're very active. And I was thinking, okay, so I'm guessing Adrian ng sister ko. And true enough, here you are. And I would think to myself, okay, what was I doing? 17, well, okay, I was still in college and I was also active naman.
Mhm.
But at 13 or like at 15, I mean, honestly, like I didn't even think about putting up my own organization.
Mm.
So you really learn. You learn as you
Yeah.
go. Yeah. So I agree with you. Okay, so last but
Sure.
not the least, we have Regina. So Regina, what are your thoughts or piece of advice that you could give?
Well, all my other my other co-officers or co-workers, if you will, already said everything that was already important. But I just wanted to add to everything, of course, besides what they said, which was I completely agree with each one, was how I think it's important to also start by having important conversations with your friends, conversations that have substance, and conversations that can really start with something that can actually make a change, because this is really where you'll be able to get ideas and learn more about people through their different passions. So I guess by really starting that conversation with a friend or anyone in general will really get you up to it and get you to start working on it. So yeah.
Another statement that I strongly believe in. I actually had a guest a couple of episodes ago They're called 1 Million Lights. I'm not sure if you've heard of them.
Yeah.
Um, oh, okay, yeah. So,
Yeah.
baka you partner with them or I don't know.
We
I
our cousin is 1
Works
million.
in 1 million lights as well.
Yeah.
who's your cousin?
Gabby
Gabby
Tanfico.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't interview that. But yeah, oh there. Okay, so same story. They started out friends one summer. They just wanted to go on this trip and like do basically just to do I don't know something. And then biglang it became 1 million lights. So there and then same with my organization. We started out well no we're all friends. Actually a friend of mine asked me if I wanted to start my own organization. So it really helps if you talk with your friends about it, especially if you and your friends have the same advocacies or the same beliefs. So
Exactly.
I guess that's why you all
Yeah.
work together pretty well. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you for sharing. All right. Um, I'm gonna give this time to you guys. Go ahead and plug what you need to plug your programs, projects, social media accounts, so that the viewers can like follow you guys. So the floor is yours.
Fashion Bella, go.
Yeah.
So, if you want to stay updated with what we do in Kids for Kids, which is mainly empowering the youth to power the nation, you can follow our Facebook, Kids for Kids Philippines. Our Instagram is at Kids for Kids PH, and you can also send us an email because we're always open to collaborations at kidsforkids at tayo.com.ph. And also, you can check out our website, Tayo, which kind of explains like basically the mother company, as Tasha mentioned earlier. So you can see what the our little components do. So that's tayo.com.ph. And then for bioplastic bags, you can check us out in bioplastic bags PH, Retaso PH, and our newest initiative, Habilin on Instagram. And then our also mother company has an Instagram. Tayo.com.ph on Instagram. So yeah, we have a lot of components, but then I mean if you follow one, you can see all of them as well. So it's just gonna lead you to the next one. But yeah.
Okay. And okay, I will also get that list from you. I'll also help share. I'll also share it on
Thank
the
you.
Thank you so much.
yeah. So also to the viewers, if ever you're interested to help Kids for Kids, again they're very open to collaborations. You heard that they've collaborated with UNICEF, WWF, and all of that. So go ahead, feel free to message them. I'll be sharing their social media accounts on this Facebook page. So any last words or shout out maybe like
I think we're good. We're just so happy that you could have us here. Like, thank you
Yeah,
so much
thank
for
you so much for
inviting us
having us.
again.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so
Yeah.
much.
So
Yeah,
much.
it's the first time we're a lot. Like,
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
it's fun.
okay.
We love being complete. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Thank you also. Thank you for accepting my invitation. And I hope I could meet you guys in person after
Yeah.
all of this and we could get to talk more. But again, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed today's episode as much as I did. Again, I feel
Definitely.
longer. But thank you so much. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you as well.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so
Thanks,
much.
Erika.
All right. So there you go. That ends today's episode. I'm actually I'm pretty exhausted from talking to them. Parang they have so much energy, the younger generation. They just give out so much energy and they got a lot of my energy today. So again, it's really just so inspiring to see the younger generation and the older generation really make a difference because yes, we are the future of the country, future. Yeah. So basically there. All right. I have a few I have a list. Okay, I always have a shout out list, but I just want to shout out to TJ Malvar. He was a guest a few episodes back. He now has a platform. He sells um, vegetables online. It's called Gising Gising. So just check that out. I have the link on my Facebook page. So you could check that out. And I just want to say hi to my friend, Andrea Zubiri, Tita Patty Helado. Thank you for watching all my episodes. Super grateful for the support. And of course, I saw your comment down there, best friend, Trish Penson. Thank you so much for supporting me in everything that I do, girl. You are the best friend. Okay, and I want to say congratulations to our newest anchor. Her name is Ali Ambray. Again, another friend of mine. Her show is called Beauty in a Box. Her show is actually just right before my show. So every Saturday at 1 p.m. So she talks about everything beauty related. So beauty, lifestyle, all the kaartehan, you'll find her talking about that. So congratulations, Aliyah, and I'm so happy that you are officially part of the V81 Radio family. Okay, another shout out that I want to do. I want to say hi to Raisa Barcelona and Mika Botial. So they were my episode 8. They actually sent me honey. See, okay, super. It's too bright, but anyways, okay. So yeah, they sent me honey. This is from their Making a Difference market. So this is 100% organic. This came from because they partner with the Aita community. So this came from them, according to the bottle. It came from the mountains of Bataan and Rizal. So they help the community by teaching them how to process all of this, and then they sell it on Mad Market. So that's Making a Difference Market. Yes, we have the same name, but we are not in any way associated. But I did interview them. So again, if you want to check that out, that is episode 8. And one sorry, I have so much shout outs. We have shows. Okay, we still have shows. For okay, after my show, I we have another show at 6 p.m. So that's Madame Venus, and then we have another show at 9 p.m. Under Rainbow Society, and then tomorrow we also have more shows. So we have Startup Nation, we have Talk Shop Asia with Sir Rolly. We have Napalm, so that's alternative music with Sir Charlie and Sir Fards. And then, of course, we have Let's Chat with Tita Gracie. And the last show for tomorrow is Mustapaps. So there, again, please follow us on Facebook. Follow the show that's making a difference. You can follow us also on V81 Radio. Check out our website. We're also on YouTube. And we're also on Instagram. So follow us. That's V81 Radio. And then, of course, the show, Making a Difference. Before I go, I just want to say Happy Father's Day, advance Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, and of course to my dad. There we go. We I had this set up for my dad, but I just want to say Happy Father's Day to all the dads, and to of course to my dad. Thank you for supporting me, supporting all of us, mommy, Sophie, and Cheska. We're very, very, very blessed to have you as our dad. So I hope you enjoy your day tomorrow. And we love you so, so much. Mwah. And there you go. So that's the end of today's episode. I will see you again next week. So that's Saturday at 3 p.m. Guys, continue. We're still under GCQ, so please, please, please continue to practice social distancing when you're out. Wear your masks. Practice proper hygiene. Wash your hands, and of course, stay safe, everyone. I'll see you all. God bless and take care always. Bye.
The program for the millennials that will showcase young professionals' worth, aspirations, and successes in doing what they believe is right, progressive, and inclusive. Making a difference. Making a difference. Join them as they discover the path to self and societal fulfillment while making a difference. Hosted by empowered and cool millennial Erika Mison. Together with her cool millennials, they will be making a difference. Every Saturday, 3 p.m. Philippine time. Only here on V81 Radio. South Manila. Tunog Pinoy, Tatak Pinoy, the future of radio. This is your all hits, all Pinoy internet radio station. This is V81 Radio Worldwide.
Ito ang paborito ng bawat Pilipino. Basta all hits, all Pinoy, panalo. Merong kwentong iyakan at tawanan. Kahit nasaan ka man, ito'y mapapakinggan.